or good evening for everyone. For Narendra, it's really evening time because we have obviously time shift in comparison with Eastern European time zone. Never mind, but today we have our colleague Narendra from India, from Mumbai, and he's going to present some, I hope, interesting and useful information in relation to educational system in India. And shortly, I am not going to speak in details about Narendra because later on I will distribute some information to my students. But Narendra is from Center for Science Education. I am not sure about pronunciation. Homi Bhabha, right? Center of Science for Science Education at Tata Institute of Fundamental Research in Mumbai, in India. And at least colleague Narendra visited Lithuania, in particular Šiauliai, and he has some understanding about Lithuania. And it's good to have such let's say, connection and such communication with India also. Okay, Narendra, please, now it's your time.
Okay, thank you, Professor, and good evening, good afternoon. Namaste from Mumbai, India. Greetings from Mumbai, India. Let me first thanks to Professor Vincentas for giving me this opportunity. I hope I am audible to you clearly. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Thank you. Now I am using a PowerPoint presentation in this session. As Professor mentioned, that I will discuss about education system, and I hope this will be useful if you are doing comparative education studies, particularly in the context of culture, in the context of education policy, in the context of different issue, socio-economic issue. This comparative study will be very useful for understanding purpose, and even some sort of innovation and practices which are conducted in a different countries, which we can use, which we can implement in our system, adopting in our own context, because the context is very important. And we are very much familiar that even in our country, if we go through one county to another county, there is also a different context of certain activities, of certain things. And I think you will understand in that point of view. Let me share with my PowerPoint presentation. Education system in India. And I will try to share with you some sort of innovations and technology in Indian education system. As Professor mentioned, that I am superannuated from Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education. Homi Bhabha was a well-known scientist in nuclear physics. That's why the name of our institute, and he established Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. I think establishment of various research institute in India is one reason we consider for the development of our nation. That is a very important point. Many Indian scientists, they establish many institutions, organizations, and they provide a research platform all over the for the global researchers. And I think those who are interested in pure science and basic sciences, they can definitely visit Tata Institute of Fundamental Research website, and they can. I think most of the master degree students are aware about this research institute. Then Bhabha also established Homi Bhabha Center. Bhabha Atomic Research Center. That's a previously, it was known as the Indian Nuclear Research Institute, Indian Atomic Research Institute. Then after Bhabha's death, the institute named as Bhabha Atomic Research Center. This is the background of my earlier institute. That's the Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education. Basically, my institute is dedicated and devoted for science and mathematics education. At Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, we organize various we have been organizing various teacher training programs. Then it's a nodal agency for Olympiad program. I think most of the European countries are participating in Olympiad activities at a school level, particularly at grade 12, 11 and 12 level, biology, physics, chemistry, astronomy, junior science. And as I said, Homi Bhabha Center is a research institute. So many areas from science and mathematics as well as social sciences issues also researchers taken for their research, and also associated with Indian Ocean Comparative Education Society. So as a member, as a closely active association with comparative education, World Comparative Education Society, it gives me a very interesting learning experience that from each country, certain practices, certain innovation in our field are very useful. And if we adopt, if we modify in our own context, that will be beneficial for us. Now, coming to the point, that's the presentation. I just now explained the purpose of the presentation, and also I discuss about my center where I was working. Now, let me give you overview of Indian education landscape and what sort of innovations and technology integrations in India currently in entire education from elementary level to up to graduation or post-graduation level. What sort of innovative practices are there that I will try to discuss with you. India, as you are aware, it's a very big country. 28 states we have. Generally, you use the term provinces. We have 28 provinces and 8 union territories, and Delhi is the capital. And we have a official 22 languages. And if we see the map of India, here you can see the India map and as well as the map of Lithuania. And we have a very good friendship with India and Lithuania. So I am trying to share with you some experiences during my visit. As Professor mentioned, that Professor Vincenta has given me the opportunity to attend this Baltic Science Technology Engineering ST conferences, and that was held in Šiauliai. During that time, during that short interaction, and even going through your documents, various educational documents and other secondary sources, what I found that both this country, India and Lithuania, have a very good culture, science, and art. You can say some sort of association, some sort of similarity. The language Lithuanian is one of the oldest living Indo-European language, and it shares significant similarities with Sanskrit and suggesting a common ancient origin. And linguistics have created a direction to illustrate this closeness with some word. We will see here that some words are there, look, munch, and then there's some sort of din. Some words are there. This is one, I think, one statue. It's in your country, and the below that is a painting which you can see in Delhi. It's on that wall how the country's cultural similarities and how they share with each other, and similarly spiritual and philosophical parallels are also there. Pre-Christian Lithuanian spirituality, which involved in Trinity of gods and other things, had been compared to ancient Indian spiritual traditions. And some sort of, you can see spiritual and philosophical parallels also one can see between two cultures. And similarly, if you see the early European contact and the contacts between missionaries particularly in Goa and then Malabar. Most of the priests that time they came from Lithuania. I didn't know exactly which place they are, but according to the sources, there is some sort of contact. Then, if you see the modern diplomatic relationship, and there is a very good relationship between government of India and Republic Lithuania, and we have a Lithuania. Lithuania opened its embassy in New Delhi and also some consulate in Vilnius. So there is a good relation between two countries, and political and economical some sort of relations are also there. In Delhi also one office is there. So what I learned from the Lithuanian education system is that actually Lithuania is a very small country, a small nation, size-wise and population-wise compared to the India. But it lead a meaningful reform through evidence-based policy, digital innovation, and inclusive learning practices. Sometimes what happens that we are not considering our work, but when we compare with other countries' education policy, their sort of work, they are conducted innovative practices and some sort of teaching learning approaches from different countries, then we realize that where we are. I think that's why such type of sessions, comparative sessions, are very useful. And from this session, you will get an idea what I am trying to share with you. And focus more focus that I really appreciate that in your education system, totally your system is a learner center where you are giving scope for critical thinking, well-being, and equal opportunities for all learners. That is also very important. And the policy and reform orientation, which is also building a resilient and high quality education system in your country. Your country demonstrates how innovation, equity, and digital readiness can be transfer education for the future. That's a important thing. Let me discuss my third point, that is related with the Indian education system. From here, I am trying to share with you some sort of from history to colonial era, and also the current trends, current situation of our Indian education system. We divided our education system. If you ask the Indian education system, we divided in four different steps or stages, you can say. The first stage actually is the Gurukul or ancient Indian time, where the philosophy and structure basically it known as the ashrama or imparted in home of the Guru. Guru means teacher, and the system focus on holistic development. That terms now we elaborated as a intellectual, physical, moral, and spiritual when we are talking about holistic development. And even every country, if you analyze different nations' education policy, their focus is on holistic development because the entire philosophy of education or the entire aim and objective of the education is to make a holistic development of an individual, of an human being. That's the important aspect, and which you can see in Gurukul system. And the curriculum, if you see, it's on Vedas, Upanishad, grammar, logic, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, martial arts, ethics, and some sort of craft were there. And the mode of the pedagogy basically is a oral transmission and memorization, debate, and experiential learning. That time they focus, they use that this type of pedagogy, or you can say. And prominently, it was for upper caste. It's not inclusive. Somewhere you can see it's for kings and those who are upper caste. For them, they get an opportunity to attend these things. And one of the earliest form of education we consider is a Gurukul system. And as I mentioned, that it's supported by the donation from the public, making this one earliest public supported system. And particularly that time, the kings and other rich families, they supported this Gurukul system. Then another phase is particularly that's the Buddha and Jain era. And that time, these are the very famous ancient universities: Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila. These universities are very popular for education, and it's a Indian subcontinent. Because this era is a very different. Indian continent means India, Afghanistan, then Pakistan, Bangladesh. All these countries where comes under this Indian subcontinent. And Takshashila is currently located in Pakistan after partitions. The area is now in Pakistan. This was a major center of learning in religious and secular subjects, Vedic, Buddhist, Jain traditions that time. And Panini, that's grammar, then Chanakya, statecraft, and other are said to have been associated with Takshashila. I'm giving these references because you can also, whenever you are getting time, you just go to Wikipedia and you will get the details more about this. Nalanda is one of the most famous Buddhist university, and I think Nalanda accommodates thousands of students and offering subjects like logic, medicine, philosophy, and metaphysics. See the history. From the history, we can see that that time a very rich education system which cover all sort of subjects, and for a holistic development, many areas that time they covered. And education was deeply embedded in social and spiritual life. And uh, uh, the system was not purely religious, and some sort of secular knowledge was there, along with some sort of spiritual discipline. But I think that this is important. Then another third period we call, that's the Islamic period or madrasa system, where flourished under Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Empire. And the curriculum was Quran, Persian and Arabic languages, theology, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, literature, administration. These are the subjects that time they taught. And the purpose basically to prepare a scholar, administrator, judges, and religious teachers. That was the purpose of education in that stage, you can say. Now, this is a fourth, you can say, fourth period. It's basically a colonial period. Christian missionaries established school from 16th century onward, and with rapid expansion in the 19th century. So this period we have to consider. And English language introduced Western science, mathematics, humanities, and various type of religious things also they introduced. And the impact is that spread of Western style modern education. This is very important point. Then expansion of women's education also took place. Missionaries open many girls' schools. That is also one we have to consider as a social reform, and which contribute literacy and a lot of social reform that time took place. And right of and there is an increase or rise of educated Indian middle class. This is very important steps during that time. Now let's come to the post-independence. I think you are aware that in 1947, India became a republic Republic of the India, uh, and now the government government efforts that time. That means some sort of constitutional commitment. Constitution of India under Article 45, which mandate free and compulsory education for children, and then after some year, that's Article 21A, which RT Act 2009 also focus on free and compulsory education. And Article 21A also given right to education for children for age from 6 to 14 years. That's free education. And this is a period where you can see the massive expansion of school education as well as higher educational institution across the rural and urban areas. And the focus was universal access and enrollment, reduction of illiteracy through adult education program. That time, various adult education program was conducted by government, non-government organization, and I think that was a movement of literacy, you can say, and inclusion of marginalized communities via reservation, special sort of scholarship, midday meal schemes. Facilities, I think that also help to you can say for education for all, to achieve the goal of education for all or universal or free education and compulsory education. Nationalization and standardization of curricula, that also happened during that time. Now, as I said, post-independence period is after 1947, and various education policies and commissions were formed or were established, and particularly focus on expanding and democratizing education. That's during 1948-49. This is University Education Commission, uh, which reorganized higher education, recruitment, and evaluation of student services. Everything that time took place. Then secondary under Secondary Education Commission 1952 to 53. That time focus on secondary schooling and teacher training. And in another major shift or major reform, we can say that's during Kothari Commission, which is 1964 and 66, which recommended a national system 10 plus 2 plus 3 structures. That means from grade 1 to grade 10. That's the one. We use the term high school, school education, not high school, school education, because school education divided into elementary, middle, or you can say upper and high school. And then +2 means grade 11 and 12. We call junior college. And +3 means college level, undergraduation, 3-year degree program, which emphasizes education for national integration, scientific temper, and moral values. I think this was the period, as I mentioned earlier, that many scientists, renowned scientists from India, C.V. Raman, Homi Bhabha, then Jagdish Chandra Bose, um, uh, many Indian scientists, they establish many institute organization, and at the same time, the political leader also contributed. The prime minister, the first prime minister, who Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who actually used the term scientific temper. And for the scientific temper, various activities at school level and college level, um, where we have been organizing, we have been conducting, such as science fair, generally the term we use, or science exhibition, all sort of and the special day like Earth Day, or some sort of Science Day, National Science Day. Such type of then science club activities, which are very useful to not only for explaining certain concept, basic science concept or mathematics concept, but which provide a platform to the student for sharing their ideas, sharing their views, and I think this enhances some sort of scientific literacy, or we can say the scientific temper, and at the same time moral values also for different teacher education. Then Kothari Commission on National Policy of Education was formulated, and they revised it. That is 1986 National Education Policy. Now, another program that time, as I said, that was after independent, lot of for a literacy purpose, for expansion purpose, various initiative government has taken. My point is that for any nations, for education, for the betterment of education, it's a responsibility not only teacher, but it's also responsibility of the government, and also community involvement, and also the vision and mission of the leader, and the renowned researchers, scientists, or and also some sort of social reformer. Because that point also I would like to share with you that in India, various social reformers also help to for the betterment of the education, to enhance the quality of education. That sort of activities they are they conducted. This Operation Blackboard is basically improving school infrastructure and providing essential teaching material. I think if you compare the India's, as I said, in that context, you have to understand that some school, rural school, urban school, tribal school, they need some sort of support in the context of infrastructure, some teaching or instructional material. So that under the Operation Blackboard movement, that support was provided. Then that Operation Blackboard replaced with Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. That means education for all, a landmark initiative for universalizing elementary education. That this also it's a major reform taken by the government of India. Then Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan also for secondary education, expansion of quality. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was focused on elementary education, and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan was focused on expansion of quality, improvement of secondary education. Secondary education, that means from grade 5 onward, you can say. Then we have a National Education Policy 2020. Under the it was formulated under the leadership of another scientist, Professor Kasturi Rangan. He was a well-known scientist, and he suggested this current our current national education policy, which we are now working. This also focus on holistic and multidisciplinary approaches, and it a little bit restructure. As I earlier mentioned, that earlier policy was 10 plus 2 plus 3. Now this policy is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, but it's for only for and then graduation. Let's see how this policy is then. In a few minutes we will see that also. Then key milestone, that is the University Grant Commission, that also for higher education, which coordinate, determine and maintain standard of higher education at university and college level. Funding to central and state university, also giving accreditations and promotion of research. Particularly research is very important for any nation's development, research and development, R&D we say. Then regulation of qualification, then curricula and academic standards they decided. Then another milestone will be the establishment of National Council of Educational Research and Training. This organization is situated in Delhi, NCERT we say, basically is design the national policies, conduct research and develop school level curriculum. And most of the books are available on our e-books are available on NCERT website. You can just explore if you are interested to compare, do the comparison between your curriculum and Indian curriculum of any grade. You can easily access our e-books. Then these are the notable, as I said, Indira Gandhi Open University for distance and open learning. Then midday meal, because this was another I think milestone in Indian education. As I said, mentioned earlier that right to education. Similarly, midday meal scheme for those for up to you can say up to class 7th or 8th. Now it extended up to little bit up to grade 10th also. So the students will get a midday meal. That this is also very important. These are some links where you can, if you are interested to know India's answered education, just see these video clips. Then let me explain to you that some sort of we are talking about initiatives. What sort of innovation and initiative has taken in India? I think the Inspire program. This is a very wonderful initiative by Government of India. Innovation in science pursuit for inspired research. That's the Inspire. I think some sort of such type of government policies, it giving some sort of scholarship to the student. It provides a platform for the student to share their innovative ideas. Basically, it divided it into different stage from school level to graduate level or research level, you can say, and where different sort of scholarship students are getting, those who are participating in this Inspire program. So student has to share their innovative idea, and I think from there, because that was a vision and mission, catch the young mind. They have some imagination, they have some sort of innovative ideas. So that ideas they make some student make a prototype on that as a model, or you can say like in exhibition the student prepare. And these ideas then at a higher level, or suppose some engineering student and IIT student, they work on that, and they also come with a different sort of product. I think industrial support is also needed, and if you compare with the developed country and developing country, that's that difference we can easily find out, that where a lot of support is getting to the education. I think you can see some sort of innovations and some sort of more progress in that country. We can easily observe that. As I said earlier, that some sort of social reformer, these are the leader social reformer who contributed in education. Sayajirao Gaikwad, Mahatma Phule, Shahu Maharaj, this Savitribai Phule, they basically for girls' education, their initiative at that time, I think that was very useful. If you analyze the entire the history of education system, you can easily recognize that there is a continuity plus changes, and there is a pluralism and diversity. Then education as a power, that is very important. That's why Nelson Mandela quote is very important. Challenges in reform, I think that also we have to understand, because when we are talking about access and quality, definitely the number of schools, universities for such a huge population, they are not that much sufficient. So that was the challenge. Now we overcome that also, and relevance is also there because we have to cope with, or we have to align with the modern education system. If we have to, I think you are aware about this 21st century skills and competencies which are expecting because of the industrial revolution. Now we are entering in the fifth industrial revolution era, where a lot of things are required. That's where our National Education Policy 2020 highlights on innovation, technology integration, and comprehensive reform, where you can see, as I mentioned, that multidisciplinary and holistic education. Another dimension of National Education Policy 2020, our current education policy, which is giving more importance on internationalization of education. That means even if Lithuania or your university would like to start some courses with Indian, or if you would like to collaborate with some Indian university, now it's very easy, and we are looking that internationalization of education. And another important is that promotion of Indian languages and Indian knowledge system. As we discussed earlier, that the history of Indian education, ancient era, lot of knowledge in a different period, different subject or different discipline was there. And now we have to study the language, Indian knowledge system and cultures very thoroughly and very critically. And of course, we also have to focus on equitable and inclusive education, as well as quality is also important, and capacity building of teachers for quality education is important, and skill development and employability, entrepreneurship, and digital empowerment is also very important for the nation's development. So that's where National Education Technology Forums and other different initiative government has undertaken. This was a phase. Earlier I mentioned that 10+2, and then there was a 3-year graduation. Now this 10+2 replaced by this foundational preparatory, middle, and secondary school, and curriculum flexibility is there. 3-language formula we have. Then focus on critical thinking and life skills. Life skills are very important for this generation. This is another reform in higher education, as I mentioned. Multidisciplinary approach, internationalization, and for research and innovation promotions, I think National Research Foundation or that is very important, which give some sort of financial support for the research and development. Then we have, if you see documents, Indian education documents, basically first we have a national policy of education. Based on national policy of education, national curriculum form framework was developed. Then based on a national curriculum framework, syllabus and textbooks are prepared, and this is the you can say the structure you are using. And again, it's also inclusivity, foundational learning, life skills, and multilingual. Professional standard, first time we can see in our education system some sort of for quality purpose. I think some sort of professional standard for teachers are very important, and this document is also available. Each and every document is available. If anyone is interested to compare or to study the details, everything is there. Technology integration, definitely this is important for digital competency, effective teaching, professional development. In that context is various institutes are involved. As I said, Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education has since more than 4 or 5 decades working in science and mathematics education, which enhancing pedagogical skills and technology. Then this I mentioned that National Research Foundations for research and development, future ready educations. This Homi Bhabha Center I have mentioned. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that the different research institute Indian Space Research Organization. I think you are aware about India's space mission. Bhabha Atomic Research Center I have mentioned earlier, and then also in the context of defense, various defense academies are there. They are working. Another point which are very important, because the most of the our participant of today's sessions, they are leader in the field of education and association, different association, which plays a very crucial role. I think their support and their academic activities also very crucial. I found that you also have in Lithuania very good science technology association under the leadership of Professor Vincenta is working. So definitely it provide a platform to share the research, new ideas, new practices. I think role of teacher association is very crucial, and we have to form such type of association in various disciplines, not only science and mathematics, but other disciplines are also important. And the role of freelancer and NGOs in India, many organizations, they are working like Muktangan, Vijnan Ashram. They are working in the areas of science, and similarly, this point I have explained. Now I will not talk. Role of IITs in India, because most of the Indian parents and students, their dream is that getting admissions in IITs, various IITs in India, and also various renowned medical colleges. That's why we have many IITs and many medical college. Similarly, to enhance science and mathematics education, we have an Indian Institute of Science Education Research in India, National Institute of Science and Science Education Research. We have NICER, we say NICER and NICER, and we have a number of technical education engineering colleges and polytechnics, which run. Some are private, some are government. Majority of engineering colleges are private colleges run by different organizations, and many IITs, all IITs are under government's control. And we also have some sort of skill and Skill India mission, NSDC, and other organizations, they are working. As I said, for technology integration point of view, for 21st century, considering 21st century need of technology, we have a different this Diksha, Swayam, MOOC, NPTEL, then PM E-Vidya, all sort of this E-Pathshala and Swayam, all sort of these platforms giving opportunity to the teachers, to the students, and to the researchers. Some sort of challenges also we have: digital divide, getting some internet and devices. There is also some sort of rural gap, that also we have to consider. Digital divide, but slowly things are improving. Previously this was also a challenge, dropout and transition rate. If you compare the elementary student enrollment and the graduate level student enrollment, there is a huge gap. So that point also we have to consider in our education system. High dropout rate after primary stage. That reason may be economical, social, quality, or relevance, but these are the challenges, and slowly India is overcoming these challenges. Education for sustainable education and sustainable development goals. I think each and every nation is trying to align their education system with SDG goals. I think in your case also, I have seen many initiatives. These are the futuristic direction where we are working on, because of this AI, artificial intelligence, then virtual reality, augmented reality, all sort of things are there, and lifelong learning. And that's why we have a different science centers, science cities in India at a different place. The government initiative is Atal Tinkering Lab, which is also useful to create scientific awareness, and science education also plays a very important role in that context. Teachers development, if you say teacher education and practices, I think there is need for teacher professional development in the context of technology. How teachers can integrate technology in their teaching learning, and different models are there in their educational professional development program. All these things are, you can say, training or professional development in this context is have been going on. Blended hybrid flip mode class models, then research and innovation in pedagogy. This is also very important. And we all are know that one size fits all, that formula is not working, and this model we have to consider. And if you see the futuristic view, in the futuristic view, I think industrial revolution fifth we are entering, and we have to align education 5 that is very important. Innovations of some sort of in our teaching learning practices is needed, because it's futuristic education will be on competency based, skill based. These are the 21st century skills. I think we are. And another point is that the generation, we have to understand the generation which we are dealing. Now, this alpha generation or Z generation, generation Z, their learning styles are different. Their exposures, the total exposure they are getting is very different. Just try to compare with our education system when we were at the school level. Now the current situation is totally different. That also we have to understand. That's why 21st century educational challenges are there: attendance and scheduling, then enrollment, fund generation, state funding, curriculum changes, sustainability. All these things are there. At the same time, opportunities are also there. See, I can't imagine that I can talk with you people, discuss, because of this industrial revolution. We are now discussing online, and a lot of asynchronous collaborative learning, personalized experiential learning, critical thinking, gamification, all sort of things are there. Opportunities are there. Online education, then internationalization is also possible. So this was the first focus, which National Curriculum Framework 205. That focus was on constructivist focus. Now National Education 2023 is focusing on what is learning. It's needed for higher order skill, technology integration, experiential learning, hands-on lesson, and multidisciplinary education. And as I said, these are the activities we conducted with students, where we use multidisciplinary approach. This was a longitudinal project. Then I already mentioned about internationalization of Indian education. The critical thinking, for that also a lot of activities we are doing with students at a different level, particularly school level, where we tried creativity, collaboration, communication, all these 21st century skills we can incorporate with our activities. And I think if we give some space to our student and learner, definitely the inquiry approach or getting question from the student is an effective way. Multi-resource situation, opportunity, and these things are there. And I think teamwork is very important because each and every activity we conducted in a multidisciplinary ways. And without teamwork, I don't think anything. As an individual, we have certain limitations, but we learn from each other. That's my Vygotsky's philosophy. What are some key student learning needs? Identify student learning needs, identify common issues, prioritize, develop an inquiry method, and we have to implement effectively various mode and STEM education or STEAM education, which gives more, you can say, focus on student or holistic development, and these are the things. It's a citizen science to community science, and from community science to we are now discussing about climate change. So we have small activities, small initiative. These are also very important and significant. We have to appreciate all our initiative and this thing. And what will be the takeaway message? Innovation and technology are not just addition to India education, but they are essential driver will shape more inclusive, skill and future ready generation. And integration of technology is also important for empower teachers, equal access and other things, because digital revolution, we need all these things. And innovation plus technology plus inclusion, that's the future ready things. In short, we have to find a problem. We have to integrate knowledge from all disciplines, from all sources. I think multiple sources we have to use, and media is also very important. And we have to think critically. We have to collaborate. And important thing is learn how to learn. This is very important, and a lot of research is also needed in this context. That's the vision of our nation. And for me, teaching and learning is a collaborative process. Thank you very much. And thanks to Professor Vincenta. Thank you.
Thanks, Narendra. It's really
exactly
really...
60 minutes I have taken.
Okay, you learned a lesson, how to manage time.
Thank you, sir.
Students, possible we have some questions or some short comments or something. Please, it's right time. We have approximately 10 minutes for discussion. Narendra, you mentioned, for example, really so detailed presentation, a lot of information on, including some historical background and some trends from, let's say, ancient time to current time. But as you know, usually we are saying that big country, big problems, right?
I agree.
What about just my interest? What about let's say inclusive education, so-called inclusive education for kids or children with special educational needs?
We have nowadays we are also considering that issue is a very challenging. I am aware of a lot of challenges are there in normal school, but some sort of infrastructural modification, then some sort of institutional level, different institute were taking care of that. And now, if you consider the inclusive, as I mentioned, some academic, some professional development in that context also taking place. How to include, how to make education inclusively, not only special education, but also gender and other issues are also there. When we are talking about inclusive, the word inclusive is very, I think many things are involved in there. Caste, then religions, race, gender, all socio-economic background, and these are there. And if you talking about some sort of special education, they are trying in India. We are trying to include in our normal education setup, but at the same time, if needed, there are some special schools for them also. That's my point.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in any system, if we would compare some systems, we will find some similarities and some differences. It's quite real situation. But my next question is about languages, because it's obvious that in India you use and you have a lot of languages in different parts of the country. It's really multilingual nation. And what about school? In school, teaching language or educational language?
Yeah. Okay. As I said, we have 28 provinces and 8 union territories. That means in a different provinces, different language is there. In Maharashtra, we have you can say Marathi is the first language. Then English, Hindi and English. So we have a 3 formula in Maharashtra from class, or you can say from grade 5th onward. That's a 3 language formula. But at elementary level, let me tell you, in India, many schools nowadays they use English because of some you can say globalizations. English has a more important parent point of view, and even you can. I think that point is also very important. Many educationists, many commissions, educational policies, they highlight that mother tongue or the first language should be that learner first language should be his or her mother tongue. That's why we have some schools in Marathi medium. Some schools they have, but English, Hindi, 3 language formula is very common. That's my, and as I said, if you go to the south part, their first language, suppose in Kerala, Malayalam is there. Tamil Nadu, Tamil is there. In Karnataka, Kannada is the first language. And English is very common because of the colonization. As I mentioned that because of the colonization, everywhere you can see English is the first language in many schools. Many English medium schools are there. But again and again, I am saying that the education is our government entire education policies. They focus on the first language, which should be their mother tongue language. Whatever the state or province's language, the first language should be their instruction language. Yes, and school system, we have we have many government run school. Then we also have a private school. We have a central board syllabus. We have a state board. That means provinces also, some provinces also design their syllabus. Then we also have a ICSE and IB international schools also we have. So different structure, and then National Institute of Open Schooling, that there are also many places they also run National Institute of Open Schooling syllabus and curriculum. But your question answer, direct answer is that 3 language formula. That's all.
Okay. Danguole, possible want to ask something? No?
It was very interesting to listen about India educational system and comparing Lithuanian and India's culture, background. Yes, it was interesting for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Narendra, one more question from my side. In Lithuania, for let's say some last, I don't know, 5 or 4 or more year, we're discussing about teacher profession. That teacher profession should be prestigious profession in society, etc. What about India? Is teacher profession prestigious?
Very interesting, difficult questions you are asking me. See, like Finland, we don't get good salary. If you compare the Finland teacher's salary, I don't think anywhere that much salary or payment is giving any country. Here also, it's a respectful profession. Now slowly, many good people are entering in this profession. But as I said, the social changes, engineering, medical, that professions are more important nowadays in India than teacher professions. Most of the parents want their kids should be a engineer or doctor rather than teacher.
But you know, for educators, money is not a priority. Just okay. And despite that it's really a big country and possible so complex and different financial system, I mean, in India, but in general, anyway, you know, for maybe, let's say, what is percentage of GDP for education in India, for example, currently? More or less, approximately.
Actually, the current nationalization policy suggested 6% of GDP should be spent on education. But the current, if you see if you search on net also, we are not reaching up to 3% of the GDP. Somewhere 2.8 or 2.7% of our GDP we are spending on education. It should be. I think that things is very important. Your point is very important. The country, if you need a good citizen or quality education, the government should spend little bit more on education. It should be, I think, when government spend on 6% of the GDP, definitely we can see different pictures. We are very positive that government will take some sort of initiative. Government will spend more money on education. But currently, we are not more than 3% of our GDP spending money on education.
Okay. I think it's enough from my side. If students have some questions, please. If not, we need to finalize our lecture today meeting. Anyway, it was really useful and interesting. If possible now, I do not see any questions in the chat. Obviously, I will distribute this material to students, possible for later analysis. Yeah. Let's say under individual needs. Thank you very much, Narendra, for your nice and rich, in particular, rich presentation.
Thank you.
It's typical educational approach. I understand you very well. And please keep well in India and
Namaste. Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Thanks means dhanyavad. And this is namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.